All right, time to curl up with that steaming mug of tea this morning. Time to tackle some tough relationship questions with some expert advice.
Yeah, it's time for Love in the Mornings, and the tea is hot. Relationship and marriage coach Jennifer Blankenkohl joining us live in studio today. We're talking about arguments.
How do you win them? No.
This is an interesting one. Yeah, so Jen, we got a good question from a viewer. They wrote in arguments, my partner's automatic line is, I didn't mean to hurt you, but it just escalates my frustration. Why does this trigger me, and how do we change this pattern? That's a good question.
Yes, this is a great question, and this commonly happens. I think that there comes some positive intention when people say this. As humans, we don't want to think that we have the capability of totally hurting people that we care about, you know, whether in our personal lives or professional or whatever. We just don't want to walk around thinking that we're hurting people. So it's an easy thing to say with actual internal positive, loving intent. However, it literally is kind of the worst thing to say when somebody's expressing their upset.
Really?
It is, because
why is it such a bad thing to say?
because intent does not equal impact, and intent certainly doesn't erase impact. Think about it. Say you're walking around the mall and you step on somebody's foot. Are you going to say, I didn't mean to do that? No, you're going to quickly say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, you might say, I didn't mean to do that, but you know, I'm so sorry. Right. Is your first response. So I think, again, you know, I want to point out the positive intent, because I think that this is such a common outplay. And it can leave people feeling, the receiver feeling unseen and rejected, while the person that says it is like, oh my gosh, I really didn't mean to hurt you.
Right, why are they getting more angry?
Right,
Yeah.
And so it can really lead into this this cycle of, you know, a misunderstood play out. So, you know, I want to give a suggestion on different personalities are going to want a different answer to this.
Okay.
Not everybody is going to want to be, I'm sorry, as a response to their partner or whoever saying, you hurt me, or that offended me, or whatever. But acknowledging it, hey, I see that what I said hurt you. You know, I understand that what I said triggered you. I regret that, and I'll be more careful next time. There also is another format where you actually say, you know, I see that I hurt you. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. That's not going to fit everybody's personality, though, because understandably so, not everybody's going to be ready and fit to say, I'm sorry, especially when you're struggling with, I really didn't mean to land here. I didn't mean to make this impact on you.
Yeah.
But I want to reiterate, when we're talking about the health and the fulfillment of our relationships, whether at work or at home, being vulnerable enough to put your heart on the table enough to say, hey, I acknowledge that what I did or said had this impact on you.
Right.
And I regret that, and I'll do better. And, you know, if you're the kind of personality that feels comfortable saying I'm sorry and taking that ownership, great. If not, you certainly don't have to agree with the person. And I think that's another kicker, too. I think acknowledging somebody's feelings or the impact that we've had on them doesn't mean that we have to be agreeing with them. And I think that takes a lot of courage and vulnerability and strength.
How do you go? How do you go about that? You know, do you just? I mean, how do you say we agree to disagree in this scenario?
It takes a lot of vulnerability. I think we all have normal human egos that really get triggered in these moments, especially when somebody's saying, hey, you hurt me, and you know deep down that was not your intention.
Right.
And now you're feeling like you've got to go into defense mode.
Yeah.
And maybe they're telling you in a way that's triggering you to be defensive. So this is also a two-way street. I'm not defending everybody that is saying, hey, you really hurt me. I think on that side, there's responsibility and strategy that we can use to convey that, hey, I've been impacted, but saying it in a way that doesn't send the other person in defense mode.
Right. Yeah. I've always heard, like, you know, the phrase perception is reality.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't your intent, but if their perception of the situation, you know, if that hurt them, that's their reality. And so that acknowledgement, you know, I'm so sorry that you're hurt by this. I can see that this hurt you, even if you're not ready to apologize. I can see you're really upset. Tell me why, you know, just like that way of showing that you're actually hearing them and not throwing it back on them and saying, well, you're wrong to feel this way. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in those moments, it takes a lot more strength.
Oh, for sure.
you know, and vulnerability to just say, you know, I see that I hurt you. And I regret that.
And to sit in that discomfort.
And yes,
Yeah.
versus being defensive.
Yeah.
You know, being defensive can feel strong, but the more strength and courage comes with not going into defense mode, taking the pause and really seeing somebody and meeting them where they're at. Even if that means for a moment you put your own ego aside, because you will win in the end. You will gain so much from the connection of that relationship, from the trust that you're building with that person.
If the goal is a good relationship, do you want to be right or do you want to be married?
I was just gonna say that. I know. It comes with a lot of truth. You know, I mean, we can fight all day long, but you know, what is the end goal in our relationships?
Yeah.
Do you want to be right or do you want to be married? Get out of here.
good motto.
So let's talk about Coldplay. And
I know, that was-
that
a
would
great
take up a
follow-up.
whole half an hour.
Yeah.
Always good to see you, Jen.
Yes, thanks for
Appreciate your
having
time.
me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. And again, if you have a question for Coach Jen, you can always send us a message right now on our AM Extra Facebook or Instagram pages. And your question could be answered right here on the show. You can remain anonymous. So, Emily, what do they do?
Slide into those DMs. We love to hear them.
All right. 841 in Portland Parks and Rec says they have